All right, good morning, everybody. This is Nate Bear, lead technical tactician for Monument Traders Alliance and Trade of the Day. And in today's video, I've got an update on the indexes and a play that I am looking to get in. I'm not currently in, but looking to get in today or tomorrow. Looking for a run into earnings, but we will get into that in a moment. Before we do, I want to make sure that everybody watching understands and knows that we've got a very important, very important live training, free live training this week. Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the sector strike training. If you don't have any idea what that is, that's totally fine. The idea is sector rotation, what it is, why it's important, and why it could be very impactful on the markets between now and the end of the year. We've got tons and tons of big catalysts coming up. Okay. Big picture stuff, taxes, tariffs, politics, the Fed, not only rates, but like what's going to happen with Jerome Powell. Every 5 minutes you hear that the president wants to fire him. That he says, "Nah, just kidding. I'm not going to fire him." Markets are going all over the place. Anyway, there's big money that moves and shifts when this news breaks, and the August sector rotation could be absolutely massive. All right. So if you're free Wednesday afternoon, click the link. I'm sure it'll be somewhere provided. Sign up. It's 100% free. I'll be live this Wednesday, 2 p.m. For a sector strike briefing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you there. Okay. So as we get into this, let me show you the indexes here. I'm just going to hide all these drawings to kind of make it a little cleaner. And we're again, new lifetime highs yesterday, but as I zoom in, we're getting up to this 3 ATR level again. And let me make this just a little bit bigger so we can actually see it. Where is it? It's not BRBP. That's why it's the wrong indicator. So if we make this a little bit bigger so we can see it, this thick blue line is 3 ATR, right? Plus 3 ATR. And once we get into this level on the indexes, it's kind of time for a bit of a pause, right? So we come into the level, just kind of get a pause, sideways action. Now we're kind of pushing back up into the level. And yesterday's candle wasn't the most bullish candle in the world, right? We sort of made new highs and came back down on the lows into the close. And it doesn't mean that the market's going to pull back 10% or we're going to, the run is over. But I think it makes sense to pull back to this point of control, to pull back to here, retest the ADMA, sort of reset a little bit before we go again. So just be aware that I could be dead wrong. And, maybe today we're at 640 and who knows, but a pullback wouldn't be the biggest surprise that I could see in the market today. Today, tomorrow, this week, right? A pullback to these people, retest support, sort of make sure that these people still want to buy, and then we'll head higher. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. For a fresh setup, I have been consulting with my best buddy, S.A.M here. And I am looking at this name right here. So I basically went over to my watch list, right here, went over to my Nate tab, and then I sort it by S up, which basically brings the names with the most A+ squeezes to the top of the list. And as you can see, DataDog here is at the top of the list. So I'm going to come over here and look at this chart. And what we notice is they had a big spike here. This was DataDog getting added to the S&P 500. We sort of come in. We actually closed this gap, it looks like, right through here. Right, and now we're sort of rounding up. I actually like this for a run up and into earnings, which are on August 7th. So my thought is if we look at this, we've kind of got sort of cup and handle right here. And within this handle, there are, as you saw, a bunch of A+ squeezes. So what I'd like to do is get long and look for a couple of different things. Number one, I'll move up here to close this gap, right? The second thing is, can we just get in and look for a run higher into earnings, right? So again, earnings on August 7th. Can we get in right in through here and look for a run up, maybe to close this gap? Maybe we go and take out this high into earnings. It just depends on the overall market and how things are looking, but that's my thought process. Okay. So with the idea that DataDog has earnings on August 7th, we want to get options that expire past that date. So I'm going to go over here, look at the options chain. I'm going to go over to this August 8th. And here, I want to show you something too. You can tell that the earnings are this series if you look right here at the IV, right? So 39%, 38%. And then this week it jumps to 55%. Well, why is that? Well, it's because the market knows that DataDog has earnings that week. It's pretty simple. So they have to price in more implied volatility, higher premium on the options to account for the known volatility event, in this case, earnings. All right, so I'm going to do something like the in the monies, the 145s. You could also do the out of the monies, like the 150s, but I prefer just to pay up a little bit and have a higher delta. So I'm going to do the 145s again for August the 8th, 145s for a run into earnings in DataDog. And what I'd like to do is, if we go back and look at this, ideally we can just sort of get in around 144 to 145. Targets are going to be 152, right? So like 144 entry, 152 would be our first target, followed by 157. And then for me, if it closes below this line and through here, right, this pivot, that's about 141, that's my stop. So I'm risking about $3, right, to try and initially make 8. And if it really stretches, 13. And again, I love this trade because there is a shot clock, right? I have to be out of this trade before earnings. I'm not going to hold through earnings, right? So there's a shot clock, and this trade has to work by then or not. So I like those kind of trades because it's not, I'm not going to get married to the stock. I'm not going to make excuses for myself and be in this thing for 6 months and it's just doing nothing and I'm rolling my options and just getting eaten alive by theta decay every month. It's not going to happen. I've got to be out before earnings. So I love that idea. All right. So that's what I got for this week. I'll get this typed up and over to you. And I hope, again, to see you Wednesday, 2 p.m. I'll be live for the sector strike training, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys there. All right. Have a good one. Later.